Hi, it's Friday, so it's apologetics time, and I'd like to talk about miracles because it's really important for Christians because our faith, in a sense, is built on miracles as opposed to Islam, for example, where Muhammad never claimed that he had performed any miracles. But Christianity is based on it because Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15, if Christ has not been raised, our preaching is useless, and so is your faith. And it's interesting that there are liberal Christians who are anti miracles. They're against miracles, and they say that they either never happened or whatever happened has a natural explanation. And the way people tend to argue against miracles is in a way of syllogism, where they say that miracles violate the laws of nature, and the laws of nature are immutable, therefore it's impossible to violate them. So there are no miracles. But the problem is it's a logical fallacy. It's called begging the question, which means that the conclusion is assumed in the premise. So if you're saying that, for example, that the laws of nature cannot be violated because the laws of nature are immutable, that's a logical fallacy. It's begging the question because your conclusion is already that it cannot be violated. So you're pretty much your conclusion and the premise are the same. But the thing is that if you argue that the laws of nature are immutable and constant, then what sort of conclusions do you come to? The only conclusion you can come to is that the laws of nature cannot be violated. But who said that they are immutable and cannot be violated? See, if God exists, then the laws of nature can be violated. Even if you think about the world coming into existence, although you would think that the laws of nature is immutable, but the world only came into existence once out of nothing, and we don't really see things coming into existence out of nothing. Although I think in quantum physics they reckon that this is to be the case, but then I heard other mathematicians and physicists saying that these things are not really proven. These are just hypotheses. And the thing is that let's suppose that it's never been observed that things just come into existence. You and I are still here. And the other thing is hypotheses that were in use and accepted as true for centuries. They at one point became obsolete. I read that people used to think that only white swans existed. Then they found black swans, or even the Newtonian physics. It was in use for centuries, but Einstein's theory of relativity came along and it sort of overrode the Newtonian physics. And there's the other way they are arguing against miracles is that they say that natural events are considered normal and miracles are not normal or not natural, let's say. So I think it was David Hume who proposed this. And if the natural, if you have more evidence for the natural than for the unnatural or for the rare, then you should believe the one that you have more evidence for. But the problem is it doesn't always seem to be the case. Think about the existence of the universe. It only happened once. Think about life coming into existence. It only happened once. In fact, if you think about history, there are a lot of things in history that only happen once. You were only born once. So the problem is that miracles, the way they look at miracles is it gets penalized, because they say that if miracle would happen more often, then it would be more believable. But the problem is it is by definition rare, a miracle. So how would you be able to believe in a miracle if it wasn't a miracle, if it was an everyday occurrence? Let's say somebody knocks on your door and wants to tell you about Jesus Christ and his resurrection, and you say, big deal, my uncle got resurrected the other day because he was dead. You wouldn't even think that, and you would have to tell them that, tell me something else, that would shake my unbelief, if you will. So that's the way they look at miracles, unfortunately. I'm going to continue next week, and hopefully we will look at actual miracles that have happened. And there's an interesting book that talks about documented miracles. We're going to look at that. Ciao.